ॐ विश्वं दर्पणदृश्यमाननगरी तुल्यन्निजान्तर्गतं पश्यन्नात्मनि मायया बहिरिवोद्भूतं यथा निद्रया यस्साक्षात् कुरुते प्रबोधसमये स्वात्मानमेवाद्वयं तस्मै श्रीगुरुमूर्तये नमः इदं श्रीदक्षिणामूर्तये बीजस्यान्तरिवाङ्कुरो जगदिदं प्राङ्निर्विकल्पं पुनः मायाकल्पितदेशकालकलना वैचित्रचित्रीकृतं मायावीव विजृम्भयत्यपि महायोगीव यस्वेच्छया तस्मै श्रीगुरुमूर्तये नमः इदं श्रीदक्षिणामूर्तये तस्मै श्रीगुरुमूर्तये नमः इदं श्रीदक्षिणामूर्तये। ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्तिः शान्तिः शान्तिः। सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। ॐ फर्स्ट वर्स। नमः श्रीशङ्करानन्द गुरुपादाम्बुजन्मने सविलासमहामोह ग्राहग्रासैककर्मणि। So Pancadasi is a very important text, as I told you. It's a Vedantic text and it is called Prakaranam, and I have given you the definition also of a Prakaranam. Shastra karyantare sthitam Shastra ekadesha sambaddham. I mean, it will not discuss all the topics of the Vedanta. It will discuss a particular portion of the Vedanta which can remove a doubts pertaining to the scripture. Scripture subject matter is Jiva Brahma Ikyam. You may have a doubt that, well, I don't think so, that the subject matter of the Upanishad is Jiva Brahma Ikyam. We may not have that doubt, but a lot of people have a doubt. Because like in Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavad Gita has attracted all the philosophers and all the intellectuals in the world. But everyone has given a different opinion regarding the subject matter of Bhagavad Gita. Vinoba Bhave says, well, it is Bhagavan has given a very much emphasis on karma alone. When we asked, what about the knowledge? He said it is just subordinate. Principal thing is Bhagavan has talked about karma. Gandhiji believed so. Gandhiji also thought like that. Anyway, so it is very, very important that several things Shastra discuss. What is the purport of the Shastra? One has to know. And then only we can commit to if we are interested in that subject matter and the result by studying etc. that subject matter. If I am interested in the result, after study what I will gain etc., then definitely the Shastra makes a sense for us, otherwise not. So one should know. So interpretation of the Shastra is a one doubt. And logical doubts. How can this mithya? They all the time talk about mithya, mithya, mithya. I don't think it is mithya. The creation is satyam. Let their Brahman be satyam. Jagat also satyam. Brahman is satyam, Jagat is satyam. This is how it is. Jiva is Jiva and Parameshwara is Parameshwara. And what is this? Nirgunam Brahma, Nirgunam Brahma. Can Parameshwara be there without any virtues? Guna means virtues. So Parameshwara is the one who has all the gunas, who has thousands and thousands and thousands of virtues. That is Parameshwara. So there is nothing called Nirgunam Brahma. There is only Sagunam Brahma. That is Narayana. That is how Vishishtadvaitin believe. Dvaitins also believe. And when we just come across a person who will talk about like this, and then we feel, yeah, I have never got such a doubt. But that's correct. That there may not be a Nirgunam Brahma at all. So what I am saying is it has to resolve. If knowledge, if we are gaining through Shravanam, but we will not be ready to assimilate the knowledge unless it passes through a channel in which I will remove all the doubts. Maybe doubts pertaining to the interpretation of Shastra or doubts pertaining to my buddhi. My buddhi raises so many questions regarding Satyam, Mithya, and regarding Brahman, regarding Jiva Sarupam, regarding Ishvara, regarding the creation. So many doubts are there. And so all has to resolve. All these doubts have to be resolved properly. And that is the job done by Prakarana Grantha. And Pancadasi belongs to that Prakarana Grantha which will do this job. So Shastra Karyantare Sthitam. Well, definitely Prasthanatrayi is one which will establish the purport of the Shastra, that is Jiva Brahmaikyam. I am nothing but the Moksha Sarupa, I am free. Shastra wants to convey you are free. Drop the idea that you are having some kind of a bondage. Don't hold on to this hot potato. Drop it from your hand. So that's what they want. That we are giving you knowledge, but we are giving you knowledge of something which is free. And what is that? That is Brahman, that is you. So Brahman is free, that's academic information. But I am free. Well, I am interested in that. Because all the time I am seeking freedom. All the time I am seeking independence. I don't want to be dependent even at the age of 88 on my sons or anybody. Somebody, I want to be independent. You pray for me. They say, you pray for me to Ishvara that I will remain healthy. Therefore, I have not to be dependent on anybody. I said on daughters, if the son and son-in-law, the daughter-in-law does not, does not take care of you, then daughter is one who will take care. No, but I don't want to be dependent on anybody. I want to be independent. So every human heart is seeking independence, basically. And therefore, I love independence. That's my nature. What I love is my nature. What I love is my nature. What I don't love is not my nature. That's all. What I don't love, what I want to get rid of, what I dislike is not my nature. This is a simple principle. What I love Ananda, I love happiness must be my nature. I love existence is my nature. I love survival is my nature. I love knowledge, yeah, it's my nature. I love knowledge, yeah, you love knowledge. Morning, the first thing is you will search for a newspaper and sit down, or you will nowadays not newspaper, then you will sit with the the scrolling in the news in the WhatsApp and in these and that. What is the information? All the time, everybody, including Swami, all the time sitting with the mobile. Getting free and immediately, immediately open it and start doing. So all the time we love information. What two people are talking, I would like to know. At least I will ask to one of them if he is my friend. Hey, what were you talking? Were you talking about me also? So everyone is interested in knowledge. Well, so I love existence, I love knowledge, I love happiness, that's my nature. Sachidananda is my nature. That is what Shastra wants to convey. That is the main subject matter. That is thing. That's correct. That's a Upanishad's job. That's a Prasthanatrayi's job. But what is the job of the Prakarana Granthas? The job of Prakarana Grantha is to make your knowledge free. This particular knowledge of Brahman, that is you, well, to make it free from doubts. And two types of doubt I have talked about you. Both the types of doubt, interpretational doubts and logical doubts. Well, so both will be removed. That's the job of a Prakarana. Anyway, so Pancadasi has 15 chapters and it's a long way to go. 1571 verses, I think. And well, it is divided into three portions. First Panchakam is a group of 5 is Prathama Panchakam, and that is called Viveka Panchakam. Because all the chapter will have a name, Viveka, etc. And the second Panchakam is Madhyama Panchakam, is another 5, group of 5 chapters. Well, and it is Deepa Panchakam. Because Natya Deep, Kutastha Deep, etc. Chitra Deep. And the third is Charama Panchakam. And that is Charama means Antima Panchakam. That's the last one. So Charama in Sanskritam means Antimaha. And that is Ananda Panchakam. Well, Atma alone is Ananda Swarupa has been established by Vidyaranya in 5 chapters. So Brahmanande, Vishayanande, Brahmananda, this Anande, this Anand. Ultimately, everything is Brahmananda. We think that the sense organs give me happiness and this give me happiness and that gives me happiness. Nothing gives happiness. In the Ananda Panchakam, Vidyaranya has proved that ultimately Atma alone is a source of Ananda. Nothing else is a source of Ananda, and that is proved logically. Because that is our doubt. Even Swamiji, if you say Atma is Ananda and that is my nature, and nature cannot go away from a particular, nature cannot go away from myself. That is called nature. And somebody asked me like this. No, you said, Swamiji, that heat is a nature of a fire. Then heat can never leave fire. If heat goes, fire also goes. And therefore, if I am Ananda, Ananda is my nature, then I should be all the time in Ananda. In fact, that's a reverse. I am hardly in Ananda, therefore I am hardly having any kind of a joy. Most of the time I am I'm all the time in a sorrowful state. So how can you say you are Ananda? A logical doubt. Could you follow now? So let Shastra says that you are Brahmananda and all, but I don't believe so. Now logically we will have to prove that you only are Ananda and there is nothing else which is a source of Ananda. The source of Ananda in the whole creation is you. The source of existence in the whole creation is you. The source of knowledge in the whole creation is you. The consciousness is the source. Existence is the source. Well, everything looks so that it has independent existence, but there is nothing which has independent existence. Everything has a borrowed existence, and I am the one, or Brahman is the one, which provides this existence. He is a lender of existence, and therefore everything is non-separate from this Brahman or Atma, etc., etc. And same way, Ananda also looks in the object. Well, you superimpose Ananda on the object. Actually, you are the very source. Has to be proved logically. Your buddhi should be convinced thoroughly. That's the job of a prakranam. And so these 3 panchakams are there. Each panchakam is this which I told you yesterday. These 3 panchakams are there. And like Gita has a shatkams, and we have this panchakam here. And now the first chapter is Tattva Viveka Prakaranam. And first Viveka Panchakam, 5 chapters. In that the first chapter is Tattva Viveka Prakaranam. And the Mangalacharanam, here for the first 2 verses happen to be the introductory verses. And of course, first is a Mangalacharanam invoking Guru's grace here for the successful completion of course, for the author writing and reaching to the people. And I think his prayer was successful. Pancadasi is very, very widely studied in a Vedantic circle. Widely studied. In fact, it has acquired a very, very important position in the study of the Vedanta. And therefore, I think the author, before commencing the writing of the book, etc., well, he has done the prayer, of course, to his teacher, and for the successful completion of the work, it has proved fruitful. So same way, we also pray the same thing, and this is for the successful completion of the study. And this is the first verse, Mangalacharanam. I have told you also Mangalacharanam of 3 types, and one is Namaskara Rupa Mangalacharanam, second is a blessing, Ashirvad Rupa Mangalacharanam, and third is a Tattva Anusandhanam, remembering the Tattva, the truth, remembering the Atma, etc. That kind of a Mangalacharanam. 3 types of Mangalacharanams are there, and Mangala Acharanam, so a successful completion for study here. And the second verse, of course, present a Anubandha Chatushtayam. I will explain you what is Anubandha Chatushtayam, and in which what is the subject matter and who is a student, what kind of a qualification he should have, what connection he has to the subject matter, what connection he has to the goal of the, what connection he has to the goal. After study, what will he get? Everything is discussed. All these things are discussed. That's called Anubandha Chatushtayam. And so second verse discusses Anubandha Chatushtayam. Now let's go to the first verse. What it says is, Namashri Shankarananda Guru Padambu Janmane. So here a Guru Pada Namaskara is done. A salutation to the lotus feet of Guru is done here. And actually the whole Guru's body is auspicious, and feet also consider auspicious, and that is why we have a Guru Pada Puja. You must have seen also. So feet considers very auspicious, and here of course there is a offering, of salutation to the feet of the Guru. So and also basically when you do salutations to the feet of the Guru, you have definitely an opportunity to bend. Generally nobody bends. It is not that easy to bend, and therefore it indicates a humility basically. Of course, but in your definitely you are going to gain knowledge, and therefore you are at a lower pedestal compared to the teacher, and definitely because then the flow will be there. Flow will be always from a higher pedestal to the lower pedestal, like a flow of water, So same way Jnana Ganga also, it flows from the higher pedestal to the lower pedestal, and therefore it indicates where you sit at the feet of the teacher. They always talk like this. You sit at the feet of the teacher. And in literal sense also, physically you sit like that. Well, but that there is a spirit. Puja Swami used to call form and spirit. Spirit means in your heart there is a humility, and that humility gets expressed in a physical form, like that you really sit at the feet of the Lord. I am at the feet of the teacher. He will be at a higher position, and I will be at a lower position, even physically. I sit down and I will give a sit him. I will give a sit in a higher position, etc. And or else the salutation. Now, namaha prahvi bhave. Namaha means namaskaram or etc. So there is a root, nam dhatu is there. Prahvi bhave. Prahvi bhave means you have a attitude of a surrender. So, and you do really namaskara physically, means a symbolic significance. Anyway, then Namaha Shri Shankarananda Guru Padambu Janmani. Now let's talk about this word Padaha, feet, right? Now Padaha actually, the root is Pad. Padyate iti Padaha. Padyate, to reach, is Padaha. But from that they make a causal root, Padayati, means to make someone reach. Padyate means to reach. If you make a causal root out of that, that is Padayati. It means to make someone reach, to cause someone reach. That's how it is. So Pada is a one. Well, definitely it helps a person to reach a certain destination. That is how our feet is called Pada, because basically our feet makes us reach, causes us to reach, causes us reach to a particular destination. Same way here, Padaha word. If you remember, Shankaracharya ji is called Bhagavat Padaha. Bhagavat Padaha means what? Bhagavantam Padayati iti Bhagavat Padaha. So basically, Bhagavantam Ishwaram Padayati iti Bhagavat Padaha. So, Shankaracharya ji is a Bhagavat Padaha because Shankaracharya ji's feet makes us reach where? To the Ishvara. Bhagavantam Padayati. Ishwaram Padayati. So, Shankaracharya's feet, if we take refuge into his feet, if we surrender to him, well, and he will impart the knowledge. That knowledge will reach us where? Make us reach. That knowledge will make us reach to Ishvara, to the Brahman. And that's how Shankaracharya is called Bhagavat Pada. Anyway, so Guru's Pada, of course, and we take a surrender to, always you must have seen everywhere. They always talk in Namaskara to feet, always. Because, and feet is called Padaha in Sanskritam. And Padaha means Padayati iti Padaha. Make us reach to the destination. And destination is nothing but Brahman or Moksha, etc. So definitely, Guru's feet, I do Namaskara. Namaha Shankarananda Guru Pada. So, and it is compared with the lotus that we will see later, but Padaha first. And therefore, Guru's Pada is because, we hold on to Guru's Pada because Guru's Pada alone help us to reach destination of Moksha. Like our feet, why? But then you hold on to his feet because our feet are very weak. That is why. Otherwise, we will reach to moksha on our own. But our feet are, are very weak. And therefore, we cannot reach. Therefore, you have to hold on to somebody's pada and not anybody. So, Guru's pada only. And that's how word Guru also is very important, right? Gu stands for ignorance and Ru stands for the removal. Well, Guru is one which removes Gukarastvandakaro vai, Rukarasthan nivartakaha, etc. etc. Gu stands for ignorance and Ru stands for the removal. So, removal of ignorance. So, basically, if you surrender, you will not have to travel anything. He will take you to the destination. So, he will fill up the gap between you and Ishvara, you and Brahman. So, he will fill up the gap. So, that's how it is so much importance in our culture. All the time, salutation. No, you will never find. Have a salutation to his head. So, salutation to head will not be there. Salutation to hands will not be there. Salutation to stomach will not be there. Salutation to feet will be there. And feet is called pada. Now you can understand what it means. So, pada means basically, and the teacher's feet is, removes the ignorance. It's a destroyer of ignorance and not physically destroy anything. Actually, basically here you can, physical destruction means jiva is destroyed. You can say here, definitely Guru will destroy the jiva. You can say that. Why? Because basically I am jiva is just a notion. And I hold on to that. For some reason I do hold on to that I am individual. For some reason, I don't know, some emotional problem or something. Shastra keeps on talking that you are not individual, sir. You are limitless Brahman. You are free. But I hold on to that. I am individual. I am human being. I am father. I am this. I am that. I am that. I am that. All the time. And then Shastra, more you talk, Shastra talks more. That's how we have so many words. And so you say, I am impure. Immediately Shastra takes up a mic and says, well, you are pure. You are Shuddha. You say, I am Anitya. I am temporary. Swamiji, how many years I have to live now? I have seen lot, Swamiji. It's already I am 72. Now how many more I have to live? Means I am Anitya. I am subject to birth and death. I am subject to time. Well, Shastra says you are Nitya. Nitya Shuddha Buddha Mukta Svabhavaha. So Shastra has so many words because you have many notions regarding yourself. That self-confusion is so complete. Therefore, Shastra uses so many words. Number of notions, then number of words Shastra has to remove the notion. Shastra wants only to make you free from the notions regarding you. Centered on self, you have many notions. You can write even the autobiography. But in autobiography, you will never claim I am a Brahman. You will claim every other thing other than Brahman. And Shastra says every other thing is Mithya. You forget it. They are all notions, and this you are simply Brahman, which is free from all kinds of limitations. And therefore, anyway, so Guru's feet basically, it's a symbolic significance, destruction of ignorance. So distance between me and the Brahman as though is in terms of ignorance. And it is destroyed. The distance is covered. So Padaha means, make you reach to the destination. Then distance has to be covered. Okay, but here what distance? The distance of ignorance. You are Brahman and you say I am not. So that distance of ignorance has been destroyed or covered by Guru. So it is breached by the knowledge, and so Guru's feet by destroying ignorance of disciple and make us reach the destination. So Namaha means salutation. And then so Guru Padambu Janmane. So Padambu Janman Shabda, Nakaranta Shabda is there. So Pada Ambuja. Pada is compared, feet is compared with Ambuja. Ambuni Jayate iti Ambuja. Ambuni, which grows in water, which is born in water. That is the lotus. So the lotus feet, Padaha eva Ambuja or Ambujanman. So basically, and so it is the teacher's feet basically, which is nothing but a lotus feet, of course. and to the lotus feet I do the salutation or I worship. So Vidyaranya's guru's name, as I told you, was Shankarananda, and he's Shankarananda. So let my guru's lotus feet, the Sri Shankaranji's guru's feet, I do a salutation. What does this lotus feet do to me? But then Shankarananda Guru Padambu Janmane Namaha. Okay. Then what does it do? When I definitely salute to his feet, what will it do? Well, Savilasa Mahamoha Graha Grasaika Karmane. Savilasa Mahamoha is a one word. It is a compound word. You will not find any gap in between. So let's start from the back side. Moha. What is moha? Moha means ignorance. And Mahamoha means great ignorance. And so powerful ignorance. What is that power? Power? Why it is great ignorance? Why it is a big ignorance? Because ignorance of something great you have. Ignorance of ignorance of something big you have. That's how we call Mahamoha. And well, I am Brahman, but I don't know. Oh, so ignorance of something big, ignorance of limitless you have. And therefore, basically, Mahamoha you have. And and then Savilasa Mahamoha Graha. This Mahamoha is considered as a Graha. Graha means shark. Somebody says crocodile, but here we can consider as a, the shark. Because shark, I think it's a better meaning. Basically what happens is this Mahamoha. In Sanskritam we call there are two types of ignorances. One is a Moola Ajnanam. Moola Ajnanam means Moolasya Ajnanam, Moola Ajnanam. Moolasya, which is a Moolam, which is the essence of everything, entire creation. What is that? Brahman. So Moolasya Ajnanam means ignorance of Brahman. Urdha Moola Adashakham Ashwatham Prahuravyayam. Bhagavan said in 15th chapter, Brahman is the mool of the entire tree of the samsara. And therefore it is moolam. It's a by which the samsara is sustained. Anyway, so one is a moola ajnanam. And second ajnanam is a tula ajnanam. But that I will talk little later. So moola ajnanam, of course, it destroys. Because I am Brahman, I don't know. So I have a moola ajnanam. And that is Mahamoha, because that is the cause of the destruction of the jiva. Ultimately, from Ajnanam alone, this raga attachment arises. From that alone, then moha delusion arises. And from there alone, because of ignorance alone, then other problem arises. Kartrutvam arises, karma, and then from janma, marana, everything arises out of that, ultimately. So we call this samsara disease as in form of three things. Three characteristics are there. Ragaha, mohaha, right? And this is how it is. So attachment is there, and then definitely from attachment arises shokaha, sorrow, and from there arises moha, delusion. So ragaha, shokaha, moha. That is the cause of destruction of the jiva. And so I am basically Brahman, but I don't know it, and therefore this Moola Jnanam is basically destroyed jiva, and so it is compared to shark. Mahamoha eva graha. Just as the shark destroys the person, eats away or brings a death to this person, same way this Mahamoha, that is Moola Jnanam, that is the ignorance of myself that I don't know that I am Brahman, destroys this jiva, and therefore Mahamoha is called Graha, shark. And definitely then Graha Grasaika Karmane. Okay. Mahamoha, this Moola Jnanam, ignorance of oneself, is the shark, and that shark is eaten away. By whom? Grasa. Grasa means a morsel. In Gujarati they call kolio. So morsel. So basically grasa means a kolio. Somebody maybe, because so and that's how anyway, because many people are there so I can just sometime translate like that. Anyway, એટલે નહીં, sorry, grasa means grasa means eats away. I mean, Guru's feet has a one job. Ek karmane. Grasah, grasah eka eva karma is equal to grasa eka karma. To eat away the shark is the only job of the feet of the teacher. When I refuse to the teacher's feet does one thing. It saves me. From whom? From the shark. What is the shark? Mool ajnanam. Self-ignorance. And that self-ignorance, which is the shark, which brings a death to me or which destroys me, well, that is being eaten away by the feet of the teacher. Abba. So, okay, he will destroy only ignorance? No. Savilasa. Vilasena sahitam vartate iti savilasaha. Of course, ignorance is there, but more than that, the consequence of the ignorance also will be gone. What is the consequence of ignorance? Adhyasaha. Erroneous perception, self-error, self-confusion, all that will go along with that. So I will not claim any more. After this is eaten away, this shark or this mool ajnanam is eaten away by the teacher's feet, not by teacher. Teacher's feet will eat away that. Well, afterwards, I will not claim any more I am an individual. That's all. I will not say I am ashuddha. All punyas and papas, I am all the time attacked by the punya papas. Well, I am subject to birth and death, etc., etc. All these things I will stop claiming. Instead, I will just claim I am Brahman. So all this savilasa means all this adhyasa and everything will also go. Because ignorance goes, the cause goes, then effect cannot remain. And therefore, adhyasa is basically born of ignorance. And therefore, that also will go. So, Atmani Jivatva Buddhi. Well, this self, which is basically Brahman, I have a Jivatva Buddhi, I am an individual, etc. I am a limited. This sense of limitation will not allow you to be comfortable. That's all. Whatever you do externally. But ultimately, that sense of limitation centered on the self will not allow you to sit quietly, will not allow you to enjoy your life. Whenever you are comfortable with yourself, the smallest thing you will be able to enjoy. And when you are not comfortable with yourself, you cannot enjoy anything which is given to you. Whatever is at a disposal to you, well, you will not be able to enjoy. Because basically you yourself are uncomfortable with yourself. You have a self-rejection, self-non-acceptance. Why is that? Why self-non-acceptance? How can you accept a self which is limited? Because you are not. So you will not, in your eye, you will never like that you are a limited individual. So you want to remove the limitation. And to remove the limitation, you only know one thing. You will have a desire to remove the limitation, and you know one thing only. One means, and one particular mean, that is karma. So all the time person remain active to fulfill varieties of the desires, and ultimately by fulfilling desires and getting various things, if he wants to feel comfortable with oneself, wants to get rid of the sense of limitation. Well, basically you are limitless, you are free. Well, you drop the notion, etc. So this is all savilasa. Savilasa means all this adhyasa, etc. also will be gone. I am karta, I am bhokta, etc. will be gone. And so karma is actually basically a grandchild. Then karma phala will arise, and then sukha dukkha, and from there punarjanma, and all of this Guru's feet will destroy forever. So, and for that, well, there is a prayer in the beginning itself, the prayer to the lotus feet of the teacher. So that, well, after study of this Pancadasi, well, I also will be, whatever the shark is there in my life, or which is chasing me, let's say. I am not in the mouth of shark, but the shark is as though chasing me. And then I want to get rid of that, he is chasing. Then definitely you can pray, you can take a surrender to the teacher's feet. This is all symbolic. Teacher's feet means you take a refuge, and he will impart knowledge, and definitely you will be free. That's what is conveyed. Let's go to second verse. तत्पादाम्बुरुहद्वन्द्वसेवा निर्मलचेतसाम् सुखबोधाय तत्त्वस्य विवेकोऽयं विधीयते. So now in the second verse, Vidyaranya introduces the subject matter. Here author mentions an intention. Vivekam vidhiyate. An analytical inquiry being conducted, being embarked upon. What is that inquiry? What kind of inquiry? Tattvasya vivekaha. Viveka means an inquiry. So tattvasya means of ultimate truth, of reality, or Brahman. Atma is Brahman, that's a reality. So I am Brahman, that is the reality. So even you can say the discriminative inquiry regarding the truth of oneself, of the self. So you can say Tattvasya Vivekaha as a Brahma Vivekaha, Atma Vivekaha, etc. also you can say. And so a discriminative inquiry into Brahman is being conducted. Vidhiyate is conducted. Tattvasya Vivekaha Vidhiyate means an inquiry, discriminative inquiry into the nature of oneself, that is Brahman, is conducted. Why do you require that inquiry? Well, because Brahman is mixed with Abrahman. As though Vishnu said, Brahman is as though mixed with Abrahman. Atma is mixed with Anatma, as though. It cannot be mixed. The two opposite, the nature, two opposite things which are, which has a opposite nature can never be mixed. So in your eye, of course, due to self-ignorance, you feel that they are mixed together, but it is not. So Brahman is, basically, Brahman is all this avidya, what is created from avidya. From the avidya, everything is created, an entire world is created. It's all prapancha of avidya alone. So Brahman is associated with avidya prapancha. So this Jagrata Avastha is nothing but, sthula prapancha. Brahman is associated with the sthula prapancha or sthula sharira, identified with the sthula sharira. This sapnavastha is nothing but, sukshma prapancha, or let's say identification with sukshma sharira. And so any state of experience, Brahman is mixed with nama rupa, etc. In deep sleep also, Brahman is identified as though with the ignorance and or else karana prapancha. So Brahman is all the time as though mixed with nama rupa and prapancha. So let's segregate. Discrimination means in your understanding, may you segregate it. So Brahman from this mithya prapancha, the Brahman which is satyam, Atma which is satyam, as though mixed up with this mithya prapancha has been discriminated. So this has been here tattva vivekaha, tattvasya vivekam vidhiyate here. And what is the target audience for this discriminative inquiry? Nirmala chetasam. So Nirmala chetasam means pure minded one. Nirmalam chetaha yesham te nirmala chetaha tesham nirmala chetasam. Or nirmalam chetaha means mind. Nirmalam, free from the malam. So free from ragadvesha, free from the hold of ragadvesha. Never free from ragadvesha. That kind of a thing, please don't think. Free from ragadvesha. It is all talk. It will be just a talk. Free from the hold of ragadvesha. That's all it is required. Never free from ragadvesha. You can keep whatever number of likes and dislikes you have, may you have it. And there are ashirvadam also for that. But you should not be under the hold of ragadvesha. That's all. You will have a will to fulfill your likes and dislikes. You will not be under the sway of. They should not dictate you. You should dictate them. That's all is required. That's the job of Karma Yoga. Ultimately through this Karma Yoga, etc., who has become free from the hold of Ragadvesha. So Ragadvesha Rupa Malarahitaha Nirmalam. Vairagya Yuktam Manaha, you can say one. Free from the hold of Ragadvesha is equal to one who is possessing Vairagya, dispassion. And that indicates entire sadhan chatushta sampatti also. So Nirmala Chetasam is equal to Sadhana Chatushte Sampatti Chetasam. Sadhana Chatushte Chetasam also you can say. So one who is having a Sadhana Chatushte Sampatti, or for the people who are having this Sadhana Chatushte Sampatti, well, we are now commencing what? A Tattvasya Vivekaha. We are commencing the discriminative inquiry regarding Atma. I mean discriminative inquiry regarding the self. And how did they get this kind of a mind? How did they get Nirmal Chetasam? How did they qualify themselves for this knowledge, self-knowledge? Well, it has been told here, Tat Padambu Ruha Dvandva Seva. So, through that Seva Nirmala Chetasam, of course, but Tat Padambu Ruha Dvandva Seva. Tat means what? That teacher. Tat means that. That means already talked in the first verse, that the teacher. So, Tat Pada. So Guru, his feet, Guru's pada means his feet, and Padambu Ruha Dvandva, Ambu Ruha. Pada is equated with the lotus. For that another word they have, Vidyaranya uses here. Earlier he uses Ambujat. Now he uses the word Ambu Ruha. Ambu Ruha means Ambuni Rohati iti Ambu Ruha. Rohati. Ruh dhatu is there in Sanskritam. It means to grow. And Ambuni Rohati, which grows in water, is the lotus. So here, Tat Pada Ambu Ruha. Tat means Guru. So Guru's feet, which are nothing but like a lotus. So Tat Pada Ambu Ruha and Dvandva, naturally two, right? And Dvandva means a pair. So Tat Pada Ambu Ruha Dvandva Seva. And definitely he doesn't have one pair. I mean, he has no one leg. We can't think like that. So Padambu Ruha Dvandva means one pair of a Guru's feet, which are, it's a lotus feet. That Sevaya, well, through the service of that, well, and you know very well in the 4th chapter, Tadvidhi Pranipatena Pariprashnena Sevaya. Upadekshanti te jnanam jnaninas tattva. So the Shishya has got a Sadhana Chatushta Sampatti through the service to the lotus feet of the teacher. That Tad means here indicate the Guru. So of course Jnanam, Moksha you gain through knowledge. There is no other way. But to gain Moksha, one should gain Jnanam, but you can gain Jnanam when you have qualifications. To acquire qualifications you have 1,000 ways. To acquire knowledge and to gain moksha, you have only one way, and that is knowledge. But to gain knowledge, you have to qualify yourself for that knowledge. In that, there are 1,000 ways. Karma yoga is there, and the religious way of life, everything you can include. Even the values, everything. Certain values I possess, amanitvam, adambitvam, ahimsa, kshantihi, arjavam, etc., etc. And like that, many things are there. So all these various means are there to acquire qualification of for the knowledge, self-knowledge. But once you are qualified to gain moksha, there is only way, and that is jnana, that is knowledge. So this is how it is. And now here, so for those people who have already become free from the hold of ragadvesha through the service to the teacher, or through the service to the lotus feet of the teacher, well, for them, I am presenting Tattva Vivekaha. I am presenting Atma Vivekaha. I am presenting the discriminative inquiry for the self. And now here, author presents, as I told you, Anubandha Chatushtaya. See, Anubandha Chatushtaya is basically, before you start studying, you should have a clarity, Chatushtaya. You should have a clarity for 4 things. Then only you go ahead, otherwise close the book. So that is called Anubandha Chatushtaya. Anubadhyate anena iti anubandha. Anubadhyate. By this, one is one is tied to the text or to the study. By this, by this means what? By these 4 factors, Chatushtayam. So by these 4 factors, if you know, then this mumukshu or the student is tied to the text. I mean, student will study the text. Badhyate, you know very well, which is tied. Anubadhyate, paschat badhyate. So one should know what are these four factors. And then if you have an interest, go ahead. Otherwise, close the book. That's what it means. So anubadhyate anena itu anubandha, and that is chatushtayam, fourfold. So this, after knowing these fourfold things, this seeker is tied to the study of the text. That's how it is. So this is called anubandha chatushtayam. It's very explicitly presented here in the second verse. See, tat padambu ruhadvandva seva nirmala chetasam, that whole word indicates a qualified person, right? Nirmala chetasam, and the one who is free from the hold of ragadvesha is the one what? Is the person who is adhikari. The first thing, adhikari. That is a qualified person. For what? Qualification for what? For self-knowledge. So first is adhikari. And that has been indicated in the first line. The whole first line in the verse number 2 indicates adhikari. Second, vishaya, second factor we should know. That is vishaya, subject matter. Well, that has been told here. Tattvasya vivekaha. Tattvasya. Tattva viveka is a subject matter. So, tattva means Brahman or Atma. Tattva means truth, essence, Atma, etc. And essence of what but Swamiji? Essence of oneself, essence of individual, essence of Ishvara, essence of Jagat. Everything is one alone. So Jeev Jagat Ishvara has one essence. That is how it is Advaitam. So it is non-dual Brahman, that is the essence of the entire creation, or Jiva, or Ishvara, that is called Tattvam. So Tattvasya Vivekaha, Tattva Viveka is the subject matter, that is a Vishaya. So two factors are over. First is adhikari, who is qualified person. Well, that nirmala chetasam, one who is having, one who is free from the hold of ragadvesha. Second is the vishaya, subject matter. Third is the prayojanam, purpose. Why should I study? What will I get? A so long study, Swamiji, what I am going to get out of this? It's a waste of time, ultimately. So, somebody may say like that. It's all waste of time. What are you doing? You and your Swami all together meeting at 4:15. What are you doing there? All this is, it's an exercise, intellectual exercise. You won't get anything. Better serve in the society. Well, you will gain something. This is what you are doing, etc., etc. So I should know what I am going to get after the while studying the text, or after the study is over. What I expect out of the study. Well, definitely that's called prayojanam, purpose of study. That also should be clear before you start the study. So Sukha Bodhaya, well, see, it has been given. Sukha Bodhaya, a word is there. Bodha means a knowledge, Sukha Bodha means easy understanding of Tattva. So, well, easy understanding of the self. And because I don't want difficult understanding, Swamiji. What is this text? Somebody told me, what is this text? I said Pancadasi. It may be very difficult text because I have never heard of such a text. So why are you taking such terse text? Somebody to advise me yesterday. Why are you take any Upanishad or take 15th chapter of Bhagavad Gita or this or that? I said 15th chapter is more, it will create more headache compared to this. Because 15th chapter or 13th chapter, it's a Upanishad. So much Bhagavan has discussed in chapter 13 and 15, my God, of Bhagavad Gita. People think Bhagavad Gita is simpler than Upanishad. They have a wrong understanding. Bhagavad Gita is a very tough text, very, very tough text. People don't have that kind of imagination. People can't imagine, I tell you. But it is not an easy thing. But anyway, people always feel Upanishad study is a very difficult study, and Bhagavad Gita study is a lighter study. It's not. In fact, that is a tough study. And if you go to Bhashyam, means gone. You will be lost in a forest. If you go to Gita Bhashyam, study with the Bhashyam, etc., means gone. Most of the people will leave. That's how we don't touch Bhashyam. To hold on to you, we don't take Bhashyam at all. Anyway, so, well, Sukha Bodhaya. So, Jnanam is a Prayojanam. Could you follow now? So, the third thing is Prayojanam, the purpose. Purpose is, with the help of this study, I will get a self-knowledge. and easy understanding also. And Sukhabodhaya is a Chaturthi, Ramaya, and it is Tadarthe Chaturthi. We call it as a Tadarthe Chaturthi. Tadarthe Chaturthi means the Chaturthi which is used to indicate the purpose. Like Dhanaya Ramaha Gramam Gacchati. This Rama goes to the village. For what? Dhanaya. Dhanaya means for the wealth. For the money. Means for earning money, etc. So that is the purpose. So three things are over. We have seen Adhikari. That has been indicated in the first line. Then second thing is the Vishaya. That is Tattvasya Vivekaha. Tattvam is a Viveka. Tattva Viveka is the subject matter. And that is Vishaya. And the third is a Prayojanam. Prayojanam is the Jnana. Okay. And well, but somebody is not, we are not interested in Jnanam. We are not interested. Then, what is your interest? Well, we are interested in moksha. Then, but we are not interested in Jnanam. But Jnanam itself is a moksha. Jnanam does not produce moksha. Jnanam is moksha. Brahman is moksha, you are moksha. You are free. Moksha means free. You are free. And that is what the knowledge is. To tell you this much, you are free. It requires years and years. Years and years of study just to convince you that you are free. That's all. You are free. Oh, but Swamiji, what kind of freedom? Well, freedom from time. First freedom. You are not bound by time. That's all. You are basically, your essential nature, consciousness is free from the time. You are free from the time, sir. But I am considering myself all the time bound by the time. That's what we are going to tell you. Do a Viveka. Atma Anatma Viveka. Well, so that is what has been presented in these first 5 chapters. So what I am saying is, do Atma Anatma Viveka. You consider yourself as a body. You consider yourself as a senses, etc., etc. And they are all subject to birth and death. And therefore, you also take yourself as also of the nature of birth and death. You are subject to birth and death. You consider because of that identification. Now, Jnanam itself is a moksha. Many Vedantic students have this kind of a wrong understanding that we should gain Jnanam through Shravanam and then moksha will happen. That's like some kind of a phenomena which will happen in the future. Then it's a wrong understanding. Basically, you are moksha. Brahman is moksha or Atma is moksha. You are free. That is the theme here. And therefore, Jnanam itself is a moksha. Because you are moksha swarupa. And therefore, your nature is free. Freedom. And so, getting Jnanam is getting moksha. Therefore, don't worry. You will get Jnanam, Sukha Bodhaya. And that too easy understanding. Well, you will get a knowledge here. And knowledge itself will give you your goal. Okay, 3 things are over. Now 4th thing, Sambandha, Chatushtayam, right? Fourfold things we should know before going ahead. First is Vishaya. What is the subject matter? If I tell you Pancadasi discusses quantum mechanics, okay, Swamiji, we'll meet you sometime. Tata. I'm not interested. I'm not interested in quantum mechanics. Okay, Tata. Anyway, sometimes if you take any text pertaining to Atma, etc., let me know. But I am not interested in this. So you should know. Therefore, Vishaya has been told. Then whether you are qualified or not, that also has been told. And sometime for a different subject matter, different kind of a qualification is required. You should be a physics graduate or a postgraduate to study quantum mechanics, right? And therefore, basically, the person like me is not qualified to study quantum mechanics. Who doesn't know more than these 2 words, quantum and mechanics? Well, definitely. So what I am saying is one should know whether I am qualified for acquiring this knowledge or not. And third thing is the prayojanam. Why should I study? Okay, that also we have told. Now, sambandha has to be told. The 4th is a sambandha. That's a very crucial thing. You have to connect these 3. Vishaya, Prayojana and what is that? Vishaya, Prayojanam and Adhikari. They are connected. And that is called Sambandha. So, this fourth thing is that is Sambandha. And connections generally are not clear. more the understanding of sambandha, more clarity regarding the different relationship between these three will definitely give you a lot of enthusiasm for the study. And therefore, first thing is, how many factors are there? See, first is myself, right? I am the first factor. Then textbook, Pancadasi textbook is a second factor. Then third is this Brahman, the subject matter, is a third factor. Moksha is, the teacher is a fourth factor. And moksha is a fifth factor. All these are connected to each other. I am connected to the text, I am connected to the teacher, I am connected to moksha, and etc. etc. And I am connected to Brahman, etc. And so all these connections are there. We should have a clarity. Before you study any text, you should be clear about certain things. So I am the pramata, that is the knower, and this textbook is called pramanam. We call it as a shabda pramanam. Well, it's a means of knowledge to give you knowledge. So book which contains words, that words, who am I, etc. The pramata, and who is interested in gaining knowledge through the words, of course. So that connection between me and the textbook is what? I am pramata, and the text is a pramanam, means of knowledge. Means of knowledge, from which kind of knowledge it will give? Self-knowledge. Okay? Through the words. And therefore, between me and the textbook, the relationship is called pramata pramana sambandha. Pramata, and this is pramana. I am the knower, and textbook is a means of knowledge. Okay, this is the first thing. What is connection between book and Brahman? Right? First, I have told you the connection between myself and the book. Now the second connection I should know is, what is the connection between the book and the Brahman? Well, Brahman is what? Subject matter. And book is what? Well, it establishes the subject matter. And therefore, our Brahman is something which I want to know. Pramata, take help of the book. For what? For knowing. For knowing what? For knowing Brahman. And therefore, of course, between me and the text, it is pramata pramana sambandha. Between text and Brahman, what is this relationship? Text is a pramana. And Brahman is what? Prameyam. Prameyam, the object to be known, right? And therefore, between the text and Brahman, between the Vedantic text, any Vedantic text, and the Brahman, the relationship is pramana prameya sambandha. Pramana prameya. Pramana means a means of knowledge, and means of knowledge of what? Means of knowledge of Brahman. So Brahman is a prameya. So three things you should know. Pramata, the knower. Pramanam, means of knowledge, that is text. And prameya, what I want to know, the object to be known, is Brahman. Pramata, pramana, prameya. Could you follow now? So, between me and text, pramata, pramana sambandha. Between text and the Brahman, that is pramana, prameya sambandha. Anyway, so this is, sometimes they call it as a pratipadya pratipadaka sambandha. Pratipadaka means the text which reveals. Reveals what? Brahman. Okay. So, what is revealed is pratipadyam. What reveals is pratipadakam. And so, pratipadaka pratipadya sambandha also is there. So, and therefore, and through the study one can gain knowledge, of course. When you study the text, you will gain the knowledge. So the study of the text and the knowledge, what is the relationship? Well, it is janya janaka sambandha. The study of will generate the knowledge, and therefore study generates. So it is called janaka. Knowledge is generated, so it's called janyam. So study and the knowledge, the relationship is janaka janya sambandha. Anyway, and what is the relationship between the knowledge and the goal, moksha? Well, it's simple. Knowledge, of course, itself is a moksha, and therefore jnanam itself happens to be moksha. But still, if you want to say, you can say janya janaka sambandha. This jnanam as though produces moksha. So this pramana vichara is the analysis of this text, discriminative analysis of the text, of course, or the subject matter ultimately produces moksha. Produces moksha, you should not as such, but here in terms of telling some kind of a relationship, I am telling. Otherwise, jnanam itself is a moksha. You don't require any other thing. In karma kanda, of course, you require big thing. That's the difference between karma and jnanam. When you read a recipe book, well, cooking, tarla dalal, well, then definitely, we Gujaratis have very much interested in tarla dalal than any other thing. And therefore, I am not interested in Gunvansha and this and that. I am interested in tarla dalal, a recipe book. Well, but you study you study recipe book, you cannot get the taste of the all the items. You will have to do something. You can gain jnanam, but it requires a karma. You have to make that dish, and therefore knowledge is not sufficient. You require to do karma. Whereas here, in this case, knowledge itself is sufficient to give you moksha, because you are moksha. You are moksha sarupa. You are essentially free, and therefore you drop the notion. For that only you have to go to the text, not for any other purpose, not to produce a moksha, etc. And therefore, basically, difference between jnanam and karma is this. Jnanam basically gives you moksha directly. Just knowing is sufficient. Whereas in karma, etc., well, after knowing, you require to do karma. Like I have told you about recipe book. So, this is the difference between these two things. Let's go to third verse. Okay, we'll do it tomorrow because already time is over. Om Purnamadav Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.